In today's vlog, I went to see one of my Shark Tank investments, Wagon. They told me one of the most inspiring stories I've ever heard. I also raced Nathan in the Wagon down a hill. Watch until the end to see who wins. Good, how are you? We are going to see one of my investments, Wagon. So they're based here on the Gold Coast. It's a power couple and they've just invented this product. It's going really well. Hello! Is this the headquarters?
Black Friday's been going very well, so...
Really? Give me a tour.
Come on.
Let's go through. This is like way bigger than when Woody started, for sure.
Well, a good origin story for us. We started in the parking lot of Stockland and Burley.
Yeah.
So they saw her on the news in 2019, and Stockland Shopping said, we'll give you a little space for a pop-up, and you can work out of here. And they had an empty 20-foot container in the parking lot. So literally for the first 2 to 3 years, I would work in the pop-up, sell a few wagons, and then it was hot summer days like this. I'm in the parking lot, containers, moving things, and we did that for, I think, 3 years. I remember just sweating, like, to cool off from the hot container, being in there, you know how hot they get.
Yeah.
I would go out in the sun, and it was like December, and I'd just be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, now doing $15,000 days in this warehouse.
I'm Reagan from Wagon.
And I'm Nathan.
And this is how we went from completely out of money and not knowing how to launch in the US market to getting nearly a $500,000 investment on Shark Tank. Before Wagon, we moved here with our 2 girls to a spot called Burley, so hence the Wagon. And we loved the beach prior to having kids, but not so much after kids. Where's the nappy bag? One of them needed copious amounts of snacks to get out the door, beach umbrellas, towels. It was just a lot of stuff to carry, and they didn't want to ride in the stroller, so then we'd have to carry them and all the stuff. And that's kind of where we just tried to buy something ourselves as parents, and we couldn't find anything that suited and that was good quality, did what we needed it to do, and solved some of the problems that we needed to solve just personally with kids. This is our esky. You can use this spot as well for food and drinks too, or you can kind of convertible have it for the kids' feet. And then we've got additional storage in the back, so the boot storage is here. This is kind of good for like towels, like
that's awesome.
Pair of thongs, speaker, good little hidey spot there. But we also offer our side storage racks, which go into these 2 slots here. So these guys. So this is also really handy because we make duffel bags, like big heavy duty bags that you can fit a ridiculous amount of gear in.
And you can put surfboards on the side.
Yeah, surfboards, bikes, which is cool.
I was looking at launching this product like 4 years ago, or a variation, and Kmart was selling them so cheap and stuff like that. Do they still kind of sell them?
Anaconda, BCF, like a bunch of major retailers have the canvas ones, but they have to be really careful on the box and with marketing. They shouldn't technically show kids in the product because it's not meant for transportation. It's just for the gear. It took us a very long time to get our safety certification. I thought it was simple.
A few moments later.
In today's episode of Dumb Ways to Die.
I'm gonna go straight into the wall, aren't I? Straight to the left. Wait, all right, I got this. Let's do it.
Oh no, I'm afraid.
Go!
Oh no, oh no.
Ah! Whoa! Don't try this at home. God, you turned so quickly.
But it's also weight bearing. So for example, making a turn, how many kilos can you have per side? Safety belts as well, making sure that they comply per country is quite tricky. Currently for the Australian market, we've got 3. So 1 on this larger seat, which is the esky, and 2 on this side. And for the US, we were able to pull off 4.
So much thought about.
Those are our Coastal Cooler tote bags, panel sets, so you can actually switch your wagon color. So if you buy a seafoam green and we come out with a limited edition color and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have that.
I remember when Reagan came to me with the idea for a wagon. At that time, I was selling real estate, and she actually said, I just want to be able to pay the school fees. You know, she wanted to create something. She was always an entrepreneur and good at selling stuff on Marketplace and all that. So that was her original goal. And when we dove in, it was something much bigger that she created. Once we were in, we were all in.
So we had a prototype made. It's probably the price of a car. It's actually worth more than my current car. And we dragged that thing around. It was so heavy, probably like 3 times heavier than this. We were out to dinner one night and I got a random blocked phone, like a call on my phone. I said, I never take those calls, but for some reason, I said, just watch the kids for a second. I'm gonna take this call. And I went outside and it was the Gold Coast Bulletin, and they're like, we saw you on Instagram and we'd like to run a little story on your product. And I was like, we don't have a website. Like we don't have anything. We have this prototype. After that, we got contacted by Channel 7 and Channel 9 that day when the story ran, and that gave us a lot of push in the beginning before we even had a product to sell. We thought because of the amount of people saying, I want this product, that we were just gonna, sell a ton. And we didn't. However, I'm glad we obviously kept going, because you need to get in front of that audience and just keep making really good, authentic content and sort of loving what you're putting out there, and eventually it catches on. I mean, a lot of people say you shouldn't be as personal on social media. I disagree. I feel like I get to know those people that are those original Wagon owners and speak to them all the time, and they still use the product 5 years on. I think really nurturing those people, that is your army.
Business is never easy. It's, what's that good quote? You only fail it if you quit. We've got the wagons under control now that we literally don't have to open the box and do a lot of quality checking. Mm-hmm. For the first 3 years, everyone they were rotational molded, and when you rotational mold, there could be scratches, and there's a 2 millimeter variance and different things happening. So I would literally take everyone out of the box, put it up here, grab my handy blowtorch here, and sit on a wagon, shining it up. Then I would armor roll it, and it was taking me like 6, 7, 8 minutes per wagon.
Oh my gosh.
And during the busy times, it was just me in here going through all the wagons. But we have got that control. We went to blow molding, and they finally strengthened the box and got everything in there. So when we get close to the Christmas season, our orders definitely ramp up. Christmas and summer here in Australia. And we'd have containers come in, and I remember days where sometimes the help I would get unloading the containers didn't show. So I remember calling Reagan once, and we had just got a 40-foot container in. And there's a lot of product in a 40-foot HQ container. So I decided, having to get orders out that same day, I spent the first half of the day, 6 hours unloading a big container. And the second half, I think I was in the warehouse probably till midnight that night, started the usual 6 in the morning, just working on wagons, trying to make sure we got all stock out for the holidays.
What is your most viral reel that you've ever done?
We went to the US recently, and I caught up with my brother and his wife and my niece and nephew. That was, I think, like, I don't even know, maybe 14 million or something.
So they were just walking around the zoo with the kids?
It was us, so our 2 kids, and then their 2 kids, and they're little, so we put them in there, and we shoved a ridiculous amount of snacks and drinks. And obviously we just showed their family.
Yeah.
We got flooded with hundreds of emails, hundreds of requests to get our product in the US. And that was a pivotal moment for us where I was like, okay, we've got to make this happen. But we didn't know the demand was going to be that great. So we had 20,000 people sign up to just a pop-up on a landing page for the US within, I think, 3 days. But with that demand, we didn't have enough cash flow. So that's kind of where Shark Tank came in, where we're like, okay, they're opening back up again. We've got to apply and hope for the best. So excited that we came out with the partner that we did.
We did a lot of research on all the judges before we decided to go down there. And we're in the plane flying down, and Reagan was showing me some content. And she showed me a video of Davies. And right there on the plane, we're like, okay, this is the guy we have to work with, right? This guy, he knows e-com. And even before we went, I have some friends that are in business and have done very well. And the CEO of their company came in to visit me one day, and he's like, oh, I watched one of the sharks is Davey. I watch all of his content online. So there was definitely, we went in there hoping, and we came out with the shark that could definitely help our business, and he's been very important in helping us grow.
What started as me just wanting to pay the school fees for the kids has turned into something that I never expected. Now Nathan doesn't work in real estate anymore, and we both work full-time in the business, and we have more flexibility to be there for both of our kids, go to all of their school functions, and do something that we genuinely love doing every day.